Okay, well, I did peel and slice my peaches, which were a bit of a disappointment. First, they're white peaches, it turns out, which, you know, is not as attractive a color as peaches, in my opinion. And they're a little hard, so overall, not what I expected. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and make it anyway. And I have raspberries, like I said. So first of all, you take your filling. You got your pie crust ready on its parchment paper. You've mixed up your cream cheese filling, and it's pretty thick. It's not going to run anywhere. You put it in on your pie plate and sort of, or your pie, and spread it around to about, I don't know, a good edge. What you want to do eventually is you'll fold the crust a bit to make a crust. So leave a good inch or 2.5 centimeters where you haven't spread the filling. And that's just an eyeball measurement. Don't worry too much. You really can't make a mistake with this thing. Not really. So spread it out to where you think it looks good. And it's as simple as that. I'm going to scrape that. Yeah. Sorry, I thought I saw something over there. All right. Here we go. I don't like having gunk on my hands, even if it's delicious. Okay, so you've got your filling on your pie dough. Yeah, and you can fold the crust either before or after you put fruit in. And you're supposed to crimp it, which means pinch it in an attractive manner, but I don't think that's critical. It's rustic, so it doesn't have to be overly pretty, but as you fold it, you sort of pinch it to bring it together, and hopefully that will look nice. Certainly if you use something like Pillsbury pie crust, it will be perfect. So you won't have, it won't look nearly as rustic as this is going to do, but there, I folded the crust over. Now I'm going to bring the fruit over. Like I said, it turns out they're white peaches, not as attractive as I'd like them to be. Not as colorful, but there you go. We will make do, and I've got my raspberries. So, you know, this is more art than science, I guess, in this case. There's no rhyme or reason for how you put the fruit on this. Just some people are more into making a super attractive design, which is terrific. My friend Stephanie made quite a beautiful peach galette a week or so ago. I have a picture of it and it is stunning. But just make sure you put the amount of fruit you want and in the design you want. So I'm just bringing it around, hopefully covering most of the filling. Last time, or the first time I made it, I only had 2 peaches, so I thought, oh well, this time I'll put more on, but it turns out I ended up with exactly 2 peaches. Maybe it's meant to be, because the 2 of the peaches weren't any good. So it's still 2 peaches, but I have to say I've either sliced them thinner or they're bigger than the other ones because I'm really managing to cover most of the filling, which is a nice surprise. I don't think it would. So here we go. Oh my goodness, you would think that I planned it that way. It mostly covered it. It's just unfortunate that the peaches are the same color as pastry, so not so attractive. But we're going to jazz it up with some raspberries to give it a little more color. And I do love raspberries, and raspberries and peach are really nice together. I think that's peach melba, isn't it? Peach and raspberry. So we'll just dot this, since I can't cover it and don't want to because I've got peaches anyway. And just put them wherever it makes sense or you feel like. Okay. That's not bad. It is supposed to be rustic, so it shouldn't be perfect, and that's the beauty of it. I like that. I wouldn't want it to look too good. Okay, I think I'll call that a day. Maybe one more there. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. So the last step of this is to brush the edges with the egg white and then sprinkle with turbinado sugar. When I the first couple of times that I made this, I did not have turbinado sugar. And in truth, up until this weekend, I have never had turbinado sugar. But my friend Stephanie gave me some of hers. She had ordered sugar early in the pandemic from a store, and she did not hit the do not substitute button, and so apparently there was no regular sugar in the store, and so she had delivered to her turbinado sugar. I think it was her first time having it as well. So really I should not say what it is, but what it looks to me is brown sugar, but big crystals of brown sugar. So I'm going to take this egg white and brush the crust with it, and then and you don't have to be precise. I whipped up the white a little bit because every recipe I've ever had that says to do this always says to whisk the egg white. So that's what I'm going to do, whether they told me that in this case or not. Okay, so I've got that. That'll help the crust brown as well as help the sugar stick to it. So I'm gonna, I do sort of like this. I just use regular sugar, and if you do not have turbinado sugar, and I'm guessing most of us don't necessarily have that on hand, just use regular sugar. Just a little bit along, I think they said 2 tablespoons, but whatever you feel like. And it gives it a little extra sweetness. This isn't overly sweet, so you don't have to worry about that, but gives a little crunch and a little extra sweetness. So, and because I'm lacking in color, I think for this one, I'm just gonna put a little turbinado sugar over the fruit too. I was toying with adding something, and this makes sense to me, so I will. So there it is, looking surprisingly good. and rustic but beautiful. This goes into an oven for 30 to 35 minutes. I think generally it was 30 that I've done, and it's at 375 degrees. So 375 for 30 to 35 minutes, and I'll see you when it's done. All right, well, I forgot to set the timer, but that's okay. I've got a good idea of when it went in, or an approximate idea, and I think it's about time to take it out. So here we go. All right. It looks really good, actually, if I do say so myself. I think the turbinado sugar added something nice to it. The peaches are a little watery looking, raspberries, but I think when it cools, it's going to be delicious. It smells good. It's got that fresh, summery flavor of warm raspberries and peaches. So I'm going to let that cool, and when it's done, we'll move it on to a nice plate and have a taste. But as I said, Rustic Apricot Galette, easy, easy. If you don't make your own pastry, it's especially easy. But if you do, it's not difficult at all. And I hope you saw that. It was quick, easy, and you got a beautiful dessert for yourself or your friends, or both.